welcome to the Fancy Werewolf Lounge. If the house is a-rockin', please come in. Something is very wrong. It should not be rocking. I am your host, Josh Pfizer. Here's the thing, Liberty, that messes up the bit the most is that you obviously are amused, but you don't vocalize
every time.
So every time, especially for our audio-only listeners, every time I do an introduction like that, they think that I am bombing. But Liberty, your webcam just went off again.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's up with that.
I don't know either. You got it to work. Wow, just in letters right now is Liberty Bell.
Hold on.
All right.
Wait, this is an audio-only podcast?
Oh, no.
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 Okay.
This is going up on YouTube, Doug.
All right.
But anyway, introduce the host. I'm Josh Pfizer.
Hey, guys. It's me, your old pal, Liberty Bell.
Hello, me.
Liberty coming in with high energy and Aloe coming in with low energy, as always. It's much.
I gotta be me, man. I gotta be me.
How you guys doing? What are we all drinking today?
I am drinking Jameson, which formerly had rocks in it, chasing it with twisted tea, and bringing up the rear with some regular old water.
I believe that's called an enema, water coming up the rear. Aloe, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking Bud Light Seltzer. It's basically it's White Claw for people who don't want their manhood in question. Because that's what happened to me last week.
Bud Light Seltzer is fucking terrible, though.
The fact that
I never even had it. This is my first time cracking it open. I saw it. I was like,
Bud Light feels like it needs to taste even less like beer than it already does. Just tells you everything you need to know about that brand. And today we have a very special guest, Mr. Doug Shaw. Our professor is probably a better way to say it. You didn't go to professor. I don't know what it is, but professor school to be called Mr.
That's true.
That's what it's called, professor school, right? And college and regular college.
Mistitling my school at the same time.
What?
You mistitled me and my university at the same time.
Yeah, you went to professor college.
Yes.
How you doing?
Doing real well.
Yep. So we ask all our guests before we get really going. Two things. First is, how are you getting through this time mentally and physically?
Just smiling while I say how horrible I'm feeling, and everybody thinks I'm joking. And physically, I'm doing what everybody else does. I'm gaining weight and becoming an alcoholic. You guys yeah.
We laugh, but is it really funny? No. Sorry,
yes.
Dad.
Some of us didn't have to didn't become those things. We were already there.
Right. So.
Yeah, Josh.
Triggered.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm drinking Goose Island IPA. I always forget to say mine.
You haven't been drinking lately. Doug, what are you drinking? We didn't ask Doug.
I'm drinking seltzer.
Hard seltzer, White Claw, or what is it?
No, just
seltzer water.
Plain
For some reason,
seltzer?
we always just go right directly to alcohol because we're degenerates. But okay. Also, Doug, the second question is, what kind of media have you been consuming during all this? Like,
I have never watched Community, and I'm in season 6.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it's weird timing because I think it was like the very beginning of the I want to say it was the very beginning, or maybe it was like the middle of the pandemic that it came on Netflix, and I was just like gonna watch it again all the way through, and I spent like a week and a half going through that show. It's incredible.
It's cool watching it without having any connection to the culture around it. So I don't know which season. Well, I didn't know which season was supposed to suck, or which actor or actress was going to leave, and all that stuff, which I've learned now that I've kind of looked it up on Wikipedia and stuff. But
yeah,
Yeah, so I didn't know any of that. I just kind of was watching it, and I saw the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, I don't know why people like this. And, and just watching it evolve. So it's been really a really cool experience.
Yeah, it definitely, I like seeing how shows change from like the first few seasons, first few episodes to what they eventually become. I mean, if we look at Friends, Joey wasn't as big of a moron in the first couple of seasons as he was in the last. So,
you're talking about Flanderization.
Oh, what is that?
Flanderization.
That has to do with Ned Flanders.
Flanderization is named after Ned Flanders from The Simpsons, where sitcom characters tend to have mannerisms as part of being a well-rounded character in season 1. And as seasons go on, they just become a collection of tropes without actually having a character.
Yeah,
So Norm on Cheers used to drink beer and like it a lot. But then it became, by the end, all he would do is make a joke about beer every episode. It just became just kind of, and Flanders is obviously, he used to be a normal person on The Simpsons, and now he's just a collection of hi diddly do,
Yeah.
When I say now, of course, I haven't seen the show in 10 years, but they tell me it's like that.
I think most people have not seen the show in 10 years.
How is it on?
I don't know. I don't know, because I don't know anybody who still actually watches it.
I think there's enough diehards or something.
I don't think there are any diehards left. I think
what are the like the deplorables or whatever are still watching it.
I don't even think that they enjoyed that much. I don't know.
So 1/3 of like, comment, subscribe is comment. So anybody who is watching and watches The Simpsons, will you comment and just kind of tell us what's up, what's going on?
Yeah, because
nobody watches this, Doug.
What the comments say. I'm pointing at the comments.
You're actually pointing at Allo. like if it's being recorded on my end, so what you're doing is pointing right at Allo. So post at Allo.
Follow my finger through Allo to where it says and
Doug,
please share your thoughts on The Simpsons, and then like do a 180, hang a right where it says subscribe. And click that.
I feel like Doug is a better host than any of us at this point. Like, we just let him take over.
Because I'm not drinking yet.
And we all started 3 hours ago. But
that's a lie.
But you kind of make a good point, because like, say what you will about like Family Guy or South Park, whether you think they dwindled in quality or not, people still actually talk about what happens on those shows from time to time. I don't hear like what happens on Simpsons aside from that casting news, and even then I was just like, but nobody fucking actually watches The Simpsons anymore. Oh, the fact that they're no longer
going to cast POC characters by white people, or have voiced
by white
people.
Okay.
But yeah, it feels like a moot point, because it's just like, okay, nobody cares about The Simpsons anymore. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's I would just
changing
rather
the world, man. They're improving the world greatly by doing
so
that.
Innovative, they
could just
trendsetters.
Racism is over now.
But also at that same point, I wonder what the writer's room looks like, because I know at a time, and not even a time that long ago, was pretty much all white dudes.
It's a computer now.
It's a computer.
It's just computer.
That doesn't.
It's Josh Francis, and that's it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too far from the truth.
I'm pretty sure it's probably still all white guys.
Yeah. Anyway, Doug, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience? Let them know what you're about.
Hi, I'm Doug Shaw. I'm a professor at the University of Northern Iowa. I've been doing a lot of workshops on Zoom. I've been doing puppet live streams on Facebook. The University of Northern Iowa has officially asked me to make 4 10-minute videos with oral communications content. Using the puppet. They specifically wanted the puppet, I suspect, more than me. I made 2 so far. I directed an improv troupe in town for 12 years.
Yeah, that was Half-Masted 3.0 or 2.0. What were they called?
Yeah, we eventually lost the decimal place. And I'm looking to see if I have a copy around. If I was smart, I would.
Actually, Doug, I think that was the first time I ever saw you. I saw a Half-Masted show in the lobby of the public library.
Oh God, yeah, those library shows were awesome.
And I was probably like 12 years old or something.
Okay, we didn't need that detail, but yeah.
No, I might have been a little older than that, but it was really good. It was really funny. I was impressed.
And so right before COVID, I was doing workshops at libraries throughout Iowa on collaborative creativity. I wrote a book, Social Nonsense, available at your fine book dealers or your Amazon near you.
And I'm looking around for, you know what? Here, just a second. I'm going to grab my copy.
Yeah, you can get it. You can get it at Barn Happy here in Cedar Falls. Where else can you get it locally?
All the places on the hill. And
okay.
Where on Main Street was willing to carry it.
Well, which places are those? If anyone is listening and they want to go get it.
Yeah, so I would go University Book and Supply or Barn Happy or Mohair Pear or the comic book store Dragon's Horde. They all carry it. Yeah, it's a great book.
Sweet.
Awesome. I got my copy at Mohair Pear. So, and I believe they're still selling it. Oh, come on. Sorry, Kat, again.
Don't apologize for that. It's new Zoom etiquette. Pets are totally allowed on Zoom. It is not considered rude or unprofessional anymore. It is now a thing.
Well, she was on the computer.
It should be encouraged.
Yeah, it should be. If people thought that we were flashing pussy on this podcast, they might actually watch it, you know?
Okay, you two motherfuckers right there. You know what? Disparaging the thing you're on. How dare you? How
it's part of the charm. You know, it's just part of the charm.
Yeah, we have a running joke here that the only person that watches this is Liberty's dad, so he can actually just go borrow Josh's copy of your
still watching
book.
it.
Yes, he's still watching it, and also members of my bingo club are watching it now. So
bingo club?
Fan 1997.
Bingo Cubs fan 1997 who asked me out via the bingo app is not watching it. However, my actual friends in my bingo club are watching it and they love it.
Shout out to Cubs fan 1997.
Yes, if it wasn't for him, I would have given up on the bingo app a long time ago, but it's like, okay, this is how I'm going to get some dick. So.
Are you talking like B5?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm my old lady style playing bingo on my phone quite often.
When you orgasm soon, you'll just yell, bingo!
Shout out to Synergy. Love you guys. Love you girls.
All right.
You'll watch this later. And then Friday nights, we always get drunk together afterwards, so it's kind of fun. We video chat and drink a lot. So being an embarrassing amount of drinking as a bingo club.
So Doug, along with being a professor and writer, would you consider yourself a humorist?
I think I am one of the funniest math professors there are.
Wow, that has to be a just, I'm sorry, a very short list. I do not think
I'm living in that happy world where I'm extremely funny for a professor and I'm extremely smart for a comedian.
which again,
I love your comedy, Doug. I'm so glad you're doing comedy again.
Yeah. Liberty inspired me to get up and start doing stand-up again. So I've been, I was doing that, and then the big COVID hit. But I was enjoying that.
And
again, now we're never doing comedy again. No. So here we are in the fancy Werewolf Lounge.
Yes.
Living our best life, preaching the masses of the bingo club and my dad. God damn
it. So I think we kind of talked about, I mean, like me and you, Doug, we met because I did another podcast a few years ago. And you I think you pretty much ran this down, but for like, you know, anybody else who didn't see that, like where do you think your kind of humor comes from? Like, what's your inspirations?
Inspirations. Well, right now, Liberty, but I mean, the story, I mean, basically, you name a comedian who was later convicted of rape or sexual harassment, and they were like the ones. I mean, the Cause and Louis C.K.
Oh my God. Oh,
Hard to have heroes
Great
nowadays.
man.
Yeah, it's a hard time for a hero.
but
saying.
actually, like that brings up a point. Were you really?
Well, I also liked
Bill
Mitch
Cosby
Hedberg, the guy who died of the drug overdose. I liked him.
Oh,
Oh man, yeah, I miss Mitch Hedberg. He was a killer.
yeah. But were you actually a fan of Bill Cosby?
Oh man, oh dude. I mean, I'm the generation that's a few years between the baby boomers and the Gen Xers. And so they had the free love and all that, and you Gen X people had whatever, but we, that's actually what you had. You had, quote, whatever, unquote. But what I had was the cause. I mean, I was 3 years old, and I was playing I Spy with my brother. I was too young to understand anything about the show, except that Bill Cosby ran out of a giant capital I, so I would redo the theme over and over again. He was on Captain Kangaroo and Sesame Street and the Electric Company as I was growing up through those kids' shows. He was pushing Jello pudding and pudding pops when I was little, and then when I was old, he was pushing, an investment company. So I really grew up with the cause. His first show, he was a gym teacher, and at the time I loved it because it was Bill Cosby as a gym teacher. This was before the Cosby Show. This was,
I'm trying to remember.
Then I saw it again on YouTube as an adult, and what was interesting was he was a teacher, but he was higher status than the other teachers. A lot of them were. I mean, you see other shows at the time, and African Americans, except for Julia, who nobody remembers, but she was the first African American with her own television show. She played a nurse. So Julia and the Cos were like in these settings where they were really just high status. And there was this one particular episode I remembered the plot of. And then when I grew up and there was the internet and I wasn't even sure that the show existed, everybody who talks about the show talked about that one episode.
Right.
So then I watched it again and it was exactly like I remembered it.
Well,
So I grew up with Bill Cosby. I used to tell people that when Twitter started, I followed all these comedians on Twitter, and one by one I threw them out because they didn't know how to do Twitter. They were trying so hard. Like Steve Martin's Twitter feed was terrible, right there, except the Cos. The Cos understood Twitter, and his Twitter feed was great.
But he's also a monster. We should.
I think a bunch of people, but his Twitter feed is lit.
Well, no, I mean it's sad. I mourned him. I mean, I feel terrible that he can't be my role model anymore. But he was a big influence, and it's too late to be uninfluenced by him.
Well, I kind of have the same thing because like when I started doing comedy, Louis C.K. started to be bigger than he was in like the 90s and the 2000s. Like he like the 2010s was like his rise and fall. Yeah. And I don't know a single comedian who wasn't in some way influenced by Louis C.K. And then you have the news of what he did came out, and I think Pete Davidson on his Netflix special kind of put it is like, yeah, he was somebody who you wanted his approval of at the time.
Right.
And it's kind of this thing I hate when people like when something like this happens, and people express how they're disappointed. Somebody will be like, well, I never liked them in the first place. It's just like, come on, dude. Like that's actually one of the problems with what is going on. It's not that we're making untalented people. It's not so much that we're making untalented people famous, although that's a problem. It's that talented people can get away with doing shitty things for a long time because we love their talents.
But I want to go back to something you said, because now maybe after you're done commenting on the other thing, you can comment and subscribe to this page. And when you comment, answer me this question. What possesses people when people are saying something like, oh, there was this comedian I really liked and he did these horrible things, or oh, there was this actor I liked and he died and I felt it, whatever. The person who types, I never liked him anyway. Why the fuck did you type that?
Yeah.
I don't know
I can tell you why.
What? No,
absolutely.
How is that contributing to the conversation? So tell me.
Yeah. It's just people want to just be controversial and just put themselves into it and make themselves the focus of it. That's all it is. It's a weird ego thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I have nothing to contribute, so I would like to tell you that. I don't have anything to contribute.
Yeah. Or some people like to be just a contrarian. They see everyone else is feeling some type of way. It's kind of like when Kobe died.
Right.
You know, everyone was feeling really sad about it. It was tragic. His daughter was with him. All these other people died with him. And then everybody was like, "But here's what happened in Colorado." So,
yeah.
Which I think is kind of an important conversation to have, but it is a timing thing, definitely. And whether or
why weren't you outraged about it before he died? Like, why do you bring that shit up when the dude died?
And especially since the conversation had already been had, and everything that can happen from it has already happened, and he's dead. So you're not really persecuting him anymore because he's dead.
I didn't know who he was, and it's like, well, fine. So why are you saying that?
Oh, that too. Yeah, that's a different level. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Take Kobe's casket and put it in a fucking prison for 10 years. Like, what the fuck, you know?
Like Liberty lost her grandmother, right? Mm-hmm. So she wrote this. I didn't feel compelled to say, all these people were saying nice things about Liberty's grandmother or being consoled. I didn't say, well, I didn't actually know her, period. No, I didn't say that. There was no reason, right?
Remember what? I'm not.
Maybe she was. Maybe she wasn't. Who knows? I never met her. Fuck it.
That is a really weird thing that we're going through. And sometimes I struggle with it, where sometimes I'm reading something and I'll feel some type of way, and I'll start to write a comment. I'm like, why the fuck do I need to put anything here? You know, especially since there's thousands of other comics too, or comments and stuff. So it's a weird thing. I
think our constant need
to do it for the light.
To have an opinion. Yeah, it's you know what it is. It's this thing of like, I think. Here's the thing. I don't think in my adult life debate has actually been a good thing, because in my adult life it's been mainly on the internet, and it's mainly, a lot of it is disingenuous. So it makes it grow, like makes people think like they need to debate something, or they need to have an opinion on something, when they actually don't actually have a strong opinion about the thing or any real knowledge. Right. I think the internet has made debate useless.
Well, like we've talked about a bunch of times, you know, it's the age of belief. You can believe whatever the fuck you want. You know, it's not the information age. It's not the Bronze Age. It's not the Industrial Age. It's the age of belief. You believe whatever you want, and everybody feels so fucking important.
I mean,
they have to put their shit out there, and that's really what it is. Like, that's the ego thing.
I mean, but I've said it's always been that way. Most of the time, people just, believe what they've believed and use that as a catalyst to live their lives. And sometimes that's good, sometimes it's bad. But yeah. Anyway, sorry. I don't know if we're off topic or on topic. I do feel like this went a little off the rails for a little bit.
There are no rails.
There are no rails. We literally
That's true.
Nothing going on. We're just chatting.
I like saying.
What do you want to talk about? Ignore the rails. Here's your fantasy. You have
I'm
just really hot people talking to you, paying attention to you. Your fifth grade self would have never thought this was happening. What would you like to talk about with us?
I will say, like,
what do you want?
I said that as if we've ever had rails to stay on,
and there shouldn't be any rails.
No, there shouldn't be.
Really
well, okay.
I mean, I'd do a rail right now. Oh, never
mind. Doug, one thing I wanted to ask you for a while that every time I saw you, I forgot. But one of the conversations I remember us having was about Aquaman.
Yeah.
What did you think? Because you're one of the few people who actually liked Aquaman.
I liked him on The Brave and the Bold.
But what
it's outrageous.
What did you think of the movie? Okay. And that's pretty much everyone's feelings on Aquaman.
These are the rails you're trying to roll on, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep,
yeah, I zoned out. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I mean,
one of the few.
I thought it's funny. His brother's name is Orm.
Everybody just kind of looks like a floating head when they're swimming, and like the bodies just look off.
DC was one of the pioneers of the 4-color process in comic books, that comic books should be bright and full of color.
Right. Yeah.
And why are they so afraid of having color films? Their films are always so just damn muted.
I think they have
blue,
definitely with birds
blue and aquamarine. That's kind of the palette.
I think they definitely are going, like, there's a few movies that are going against that, like Shazam and Birds of Prey. Those are like very wonderfully colored movies. Yeah. Huh?
They were watchable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not that many people watched them in comparison with like the more mainstream films.
Yeah, that's upsetting, especially since I love Birds of Prey. I think it's probably my favorite movie I've seen that's come out this year.
Ooh.
But yeah, I think it was because it was one of the reasons was it was rated R, and I think the people who would have wanted to see that would have been, teenage girls, like girls that are like 15 years old and like are starting to get into comic books, really like Harley Quinn.
They're too busy on TikTok.
No, they will TikTok about the movie, like too busy on TikTok. Oh, okay. Are you just gonna like say every teenager it just does TikTok?
Dude, all my friends are doing TikTok now. Even people are so bored they're TikToking.
Well, most of your friends are like 50, so.
What are you trying to say, Josh?
Oh no,
that's what happens when you play bingo. You're gonna have.
You know what? I love those women.
All right. Yeah. You're right.
And I will not tolerate shit talking about my bingo club. I'm finally a part of something meaningful in my life.
It's great.
All right. Yeah.
So fuck you guys.
All right.
No shame. I'm not casting any shame or judgment.
You're just jealous that our club's already full and you can't join.
Hey, yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, I am jealous. We're bringing it down to the open right now. Fine, I am jealous of your club. I wish I was in it, but you won't let me. And I'm going to start my own club with just men. Call it Just for Men.
Classic you. Classic cis white male.
Yeah.
So it's good for you. Let me give you a round of applause.
Yes, it's a white male only. Allo, sorry, you can't come in.
Are they actually going to start fighting?
Yeah, we're off the rails now.
If I titled these, this would be called "We're Off the Rails Now."
You can title it.
Yeah, I can title it. I think I've. Yeah, I think I'll. Yep. So anyway.
I just watched a kung fu movie, so I feel like I'm ready for whatever comes.
What was it?
If my bingo club needs to brawl with Josh's all-white male bingo club.
What was the movie?
I'm not telling you guys because you're just judging me like crazy right now.
I love kung fu movies. Okay, everybody go around and say the last kung fu movie they just watched or recently ever. Mine was Kung Fu Hustle.
Kung Fu Hustle?
Ninja 3 The Domain, which isn't technically a kung fu movie in the classic sense, but it's a really weird ninja movie.
The Legend of Wing Chun.
All right. Now Liberty.
I feel like I can't really answer that appropriately because last movie I watched was True Romance, which features 3 kung fu movies in one movie.
The Bodyguard. No, not the Bodyguard. The Silent Shiba one. It's the Bodyguard, and the Killers, which isn't actually a kung fu movie. It's more of a shoot 'em up action movie and Vein of John Woo. Sorry, I just watched that too. Anyway, sorry. I am going.
Did she even say what kung fu movie she watched, or no?
She
still hasn't said.
She didn't. She's stalling for some reason.
I'm really mad at you guys.
Well, I shared mine, and you judged it, and
I did not judge it.
Kung Fu Hustle is a great movie.
Hustle like 10 days ago.
Let's talk about it. It's got comedy. It's got kung fu. It's got special effects.
Okay, you guys, it was Kung Fu Panda 2. Okay,
that's cool.
That's what I watched.
No judgment at all, man. No judgment at all.
Yeah, I watched the first one. I would watch the next one. There's funny comedians in it. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
You guys, that was a joke.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, Liberty.
So you're still lying?
No, I'm sorry. I literally just got a text message from work that I have to respond to. So just hold on just a second.
Okay.
Josh, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
So
no, really though, the movie I watched was the One-Armed Swordsman. I'm sorry, I'll tell you.
No.
I'll quit fucking with you.
Where are the four of us? So are you top left?
I am top right. You're top left. Aloe's bottom left, and Liberty's top bottom right.
Okay, good.
Liberty's
so
the bottom this time.
When somebody talks.
What?
So now I know where to look when somebody talks.
You're looking at nothing.
Oh my god!
Oh, so am I looking at you right now?
This is you looking at me.
I'm looking at you right now, right?
You're looking at me.
Now I'm looking at Aloe.
You're looking at Aloe.
And then this is Liberty?
This Liberty. Yeah, are we just doing the Brady Bunch thing?
Pretty much.
Brady Bunch.
Well, no, I like to look at people when they're talking, and so when your viewers, having subscribed, liked, and commented, watch this, I want them to like have this illusion of us all like being around and talking. There's Aloe, how you doing?
Yeah, and then they're gonna watch a bunch of kung fu movies because they're gonna be like, "Whoa,
That should.
Yep.
kung fu movies."
These uncertain times, you should be watching kung fu movies.
These uncertain.
Why not?
If I have to hear that fucking phrase one more time. These
One more
uncertain
time.
times.
Tremendous response by the American people. Everybody is staying safe.
We're all in this together.
We're all in this
Fuck
together.
you. Fuck.
Are we? Because I had a friend test positive for COVID like 4 days ago, and he was in the bars all weekend. Are we all in this together?
Oh, then we're definitely all in this together.
We're all about to be.
Bet he wasn't even wearing a mask.
You hole up in your own house for months and months and months to see that shit. And this is why a civil war is gonna happen. Why?
No, it's not. We'll be all right.
Yeah. We'll
All right, Aloe, you're right. I'm not gonna kill anybody. I'm just gonna start noogieing people, and I've been saying this for a long time. I'm bringing the fucking noogie back, and if I see you doing dumb shit, you're getting noogied.
You're it's physically hard for you. You're too short to just noogie me. I'm 6'4", so you'd have to jump up.
I will fake that I want you to give me a piggyback. Get on your back for a piggyback, and then noogie your ass.
I don't think that would work.
Then what?
By the way,
yeah, just like suddenly I just wear stilts everywhere.
Oh fuck, she's on her noogie streak.
Bitches be noogieing.
Bitches
2020
noogieing. BBN.
That's a T-shirt. You should.
Yeah, we got it.
So Josh, can we show your viewers a game that they could play along with us, even asynchronously?
What can we show?
The problem is the game was taught to me by a British person, and their idioms are a little different than United States idioms. So it's kind of an unfortunately named game.
It's the C word, isn't it?
It's called Just the Tip.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love it.
I don't know why I was laughing. He goes, "Come on, let's play Just the Tip." And I'm like, "Just the Tip, really?"
I'm down because I love games, and everyone knows that.
So what you do is you find somewhere within reach, or you can stand up and grab something, just an interesting object. So I'll play first, and I'm going to put it in. You folks at home, you try to beat our panelists. I'm going to put it on camera very slowly, okay?
And
your goal is to figure out what it is, and I'm just going to show you.
On a tip.
Okay, so here I'm trying to do this here, and I just don't want it to come in too fast. So that's why I'm being maybe a little over.
Again,
that's what she said.
Jesus Christ, you even got something that's phallic shaped.
I didn't think.
Is it a bat? Is it one of those mini bats?
Yeah, it does look like kind of like a small bat, like a tiny baseball.
It's a hairbrush.
It's like a gourd.
It's a maraca.
It looks like a wooden butt plug.
It's a dreidel.
It's a dreidel.
It's a dreidel.
Yes, the drawing.
God damn it! I was way off.
Dang, that was a good one.
That's how you play Just the Tip. Who's next?
I was so excited for the dreidel.
Okay, let me see what it is.
By the way, do you guys remember a couple of years ago, and it was like right after David Bowie died, that all these other celebrities started to die, like Alan Rickman, I think was the next day and stuff like that.
2016.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's what's going on right now because yesterday Regis Philbin died.
Mm-hmm.
What? I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, he's
That's like sad.
Like the David Bowie
you trying to make me cry on the podcast again?
He's the David Bowie of midday TV.
Yeah.
We kind of have to understand that.
I'm gonna try and find something to just the tip with.
Okay.
Famous people are dying more because, like, when pop culture things and just media really took off in this country was when around the time people would normally die.
I mean, and another person that I really admired that died recently is Carl Reiner. He passed, unfortunately. And my first thing when I heard that is like, oh, Mel Brooks is so sad right now. That's upsetting.
It's a wonderful thing to think.
Yeah, and just like it's like one of the cutest friendships, aside from like Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen is Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner. Yeah.
You said their friendship is cute?
Yeah, it was cute. Especially
they were young together. Now they were old, but they still hang out and they're like all old stuff people.
They were two 9-year-old Jewish men. Yeah, it was adorable. Yeah, and but yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of something that's going on right now. Is like every other week I hear like a new person had died, and it's it's weird. I don't know. That's something I thought of because it just keeps happening. I don't know.
It's gonna keep happening.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not the right people are dying. I am not saying anyone specific because I know there's certain agencies that are listening to this. They listen to.
You should go ahead and list off all the people you want to die real quick. That'd be entertaining.
I have my death note.
Yeah.
Yeah. Liberty, you back?
I wonder if I could have one person just die.
Oh, we're gonna do this very dangerous game. All right.
But the thing is, if it's the person I think you're thinking of, you don't want somebody who's very elderly because they're going to die anyway. It's a waste of a wish.
That is true. Yeah.
Right? Like you're the person who rubs the lamp. The genie comes out and goes, "Oh, I wish I had a hot dog." Everybody hates that guy.
You got. That's who I would wish that would die.
Person you want to die.
Like
what child would you kill right now?
What? Wow. You went from, they're old, they're going to die anyway. Don't waste it. Don't waste that wish on that. But it's just like, now what infant do you think deserves dead?
Yes. I took a concept and I carried it to its logical extremes and hoped laughter.
Liberty, what child would you want to die? This is Doug's question, by the way.
It's your question. I'm just the ramifications. Don't you pin this on me.
Well, I feel like Josh is more murderous than Doug, so I'm going to believe Doug on this one.
What makes me more murderous? Is it my crawl space? Is it because that time you saw my crawl space?
Josh, I've seen way too much.
7 bodies isn't a lot, okay? I'm not at Ted Bundy levels, whatever.
I know, it's fine because they were all Nazis, but...
Yes.
Tommy.
God, what kind of child do I want to see die?
This isn't a serious question. Don't incriminate yourself.
I feel like, this is like...
No, the thing was, if you could wish somebody dead and they would die, who would it be? And my point is, it shouldn't be an old person because they're already, you're wasting it. Right? If you, for example, hated Joe Biden and said, "I want Joe Biden to die," just wait 5 years. 5 years later, you're like, "Oh my God, I wasted."
I feel like it could be a positive thing if Joe Biden died right now, though, because then we'd need a new Democratic candidate for presidency. So I don't know if that's really accurate.
Oh, well, okay.
It's like as far as old people, he's probably gonna die kind of soon.
But not soon enough for national history. I see what
you're saying. So I get your point, but Biden would be a decent choice, even though I don't have that many issues with him, but I would prefer a different candidate for presidency. So
this video is going to be evidence that our treason here.
I feel like almost I don't know. I don't want to kill anybody. I just
Tommy,
I'm not a murderer and I am not a violent person, so it's just not for me.
Yeah, Tommy Lahren. I think I'm saying her name right. Tome.
Oh, Tommy Lauren or
Tommy Lauren.
Yeah, that's her. We all know who we're talking about here.
That's her gender question name.
Yeah, it's a weird question because if you're giving one person,
she's going to be with us like a
is that a potato?
For literally the rest of my life, she's going to be around.
It's a pickle.
It's a cucumber. Zeppelin.
It's a maraca. It's a salt shaker.
You know because you've been at my house. Al,
I
you
know.
cheater.
I thought it was a maraca, but it's a salt shaker. It looks like a maraca. I was upset when it didn't make noise.
Hello, you go.
Al, you just cheated because you knew the answer.
Okay.
Cheater.
This might be obvious, but maybe not. I don't know.
Wait. Pen.
Marker. Drumstick.
Drumstick.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a drumstick.
Recorder.
When do you lose?
What?
When do you
Samurai
lose?
sword?
Oh, it's a sword.
Yeah. You
Hey,
won.
Josh, were you going to come in from above?
No, I'm not doing this because the only thing that I would
I got
the only
got
thing that I
another
would
one that I
do
feel like
the only
might
thing
be
that
good.
I would do is my penis, and it would be flagged on YouTube. So I'm not. I genuinely want to ask if that's a sex toy.
Yes, it's a sex toy.
Oh my God, you're gonna get us flagged, Liberty.
Okay, let's pretend that Josh is showing us his
Okay, you want to know what it was?
Yes.
No one has a real guess.
A mushroom.
No, for
a
anybody,
microphone.
just do it for anybody who's not watching this. It's is that a pen?
I thought it was a sex toy.
Yeah, it's exactly like
Knitting needle.
It's not that big, you guys.
Oh, it's a little fork.
It's
a
a
little
tiny
For olives?
hors d'oeuvre stick.
ooh, fancy. Oh, look who's fancy. Look who's too good to use a normal toothpick. Yeah, you think you're better than me?
See that? I threw it at you. If I could steer you with this, I would.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
So we still talking about people we want to kill, or are we moving on from that?
Okay, I want to make this distinction.
So we're not saying kill.
Not people that
we
we will go out and kill. We should
Okay.
probably talk about that.
Okay.
People you want dead.
Dying.
People,
Right,
a
you
list
only
of
get to pick
people
one.
that Josh wanted dead was specifically the original question because he.
And then
he
Josh
alluded
brought it to
it.
children right away.
Yeah, yeah.
Whoa.
Classic, Josh.
I was kind of a little surprised.
I am so glad that I have the ability, that I'm the one editing this, because I know if any of you fuckers are doing
You don't have
cut out
freedom.
the part where Doug is the one who went
you
to
think
children.
you have freedom, you don't, because you're going to have to edit it in a way that it's funny, and your comic sensibilities are such.
Fuck. That's right. God damn it.
But leave it in because it's funny.
But there's also my laziness. You have to remember, I'm also really lazy.
He doesn't edit anything out of it. He just
Only if a guest specifically asks me to. I've done that before. I will say, I am very respectful of my guests' wishes.
Are you going to audio dub it? Josh is actually cool. This isn't Doug talking. This is Doug talking. Josh is actually cool. Honest.
Why are you? Oh, streamers, I guess. Pom poms.
Cat toy.
good guess, Doug. That's a good guess.
Boudoir curtain. Pasty for somebody who's really large.
This would work. Yeah, that would work as a
huge
pasty.
nipples. Okay, so Doug, you being an educator, you being somebody who, like I said, is an educator. What's your take on what's going on right now in terms of opening schools back up? Because we've had Alex Conyers, who's a teacher, on before, but that was before we knew schools would be opening back up. But what's your personal opinion on what's going on?
There's so many things to get straight, so many policies, I sometimes even, cry sometimes when I go to bed trying to get it all down, get it in my head, and I'm feeling kind of peculiar. The next morning I wake up and I go outside, I take a deep breath, I get real high, and I scream from the top of my lungs, "What's going on?"
I don't think we can clear that song. That's something we're going to have to edit out.
The actual song has so little in common with the notes I sang, I think.
Yeah, that was not the melody at all.
Yeah. That was not close. Anyway, but or is it just a question you're tired of answering, because I'm sure like you must have gotten it a bunch.
We're all talking about it.
Yeah.
And and we just are trying to give the students a good education without dying ourselves. And I mean,
God.
And that's
to go serious on you, one thing I have been doing, and it's actually gaining some traction, I'm affecting the vocabulary, at least in certain areas, is I don't like it when we say, is this going to be online instruction or face-to-face instruction? Because we're not doing face-to-face. That's not an option. We're doing mask-to-mask.
Right.
When you compare online to mask. Face-to-face, you're like, oh, I'd rather do face-to-face, you know?
Here's my thing with it, Doug. Like,
it's not face-to-face. It's mask-to-mask, and it's social distance. It's not what you had last semester.
Right. Well, from like my personal experience as like a Cedar Falls resident, you know, I deal with a lot of college students and stuff as well, not professionally, but like via social media and stuff. And I just see them out being reckless as fuck. So I'm like, who are they? I mean, they're definitely not trying to protect you. And like, it's just like such an unbelievable risk to me to be like, yeah, everybody's just going to be fine and be safe and we can be person to person and mask to mask even. Like,
I don't know.
The validity of masks is still not determined. I mean, we believe that it's better than nothing, but you know, it's not 100%. And just the shit that I've seen these kids still fucking doing this whole time is like unbelievable to me. Like this is what pissed me off and set me off about my grandma's situation so much is I have UNI students that are my friends on Snapchat who also work at New Aldea where my grandmother was living. And these people were partying every single night in large groups and doing shit that was just overtly ridiculous. Like you've seen a super soaker, right? Like a water gun. They're pouring like 30 beers or more into a 5-gallon bucket and then taking a super soaker, pulling it back, filling it with beer, shooting it into somebody's mouth, and then dumping that same super soaker back in the same bucket, filling it with beer, and shooting it into someone else's mouth like a fucking shotgun or a beer bong, like a, I don't know, 2020 beer bong, I guess. And these people are doing that type of shit. So
I think
like the young people are the people that think we're invincible and we can just do whatever the fuck we want. And you're supposed to go back to that. And then elementary kids are supposed to wear masks and not touch their face and not like, it's just, to me, it's just ridiculous. I cannot understand remotely how they think it's going to be safe to return to schools right now.
I think if there's one thing, it's definitely showing us how fucked up just things we did for fun are just like, oh, that looked like, you know, I watched video of like, you know, right after states opened up, people going into beaches or public pools. I'm just like, oh, I get it now. Even under normal circumstances, that would be incredibly unsanitary. And
right.
Yeah.
Well, most people don't understand what
you think going to the beach normally is unsanitary.
Yeah,
it is. Of course it is.
Like, even to a fucking beach? Yeah, beaches are gross. I'm sorry. I'm on team anti-beach.
All right.
My thing is like the average person. The average.
You know what?
Person,
you know what show I hate the most? Baywatch. It normalized beach culture, and I cannot abide by that. That is a moral failing on David Hasselhoff, Pamela Anderson, and the producers of Baywatch.
I think during normal circumstances, the beach is okay.
Absolutely, but we're in the middle of an infectious
disease.
Dude,
Instagram is a thing now. You can look at bikini pics.
Okay, if people who had COVID turned into zombies, do you think that people will be acting like they're acting right now?
I mean, yeah. One of the things is like it's not a thing that is like noticeably you know, a kind of like
right, like,
you know,
people had COVID looked like they had leprosy, and you could like visibly see that they were ill.
Well, then they wouldn't have to. I mean, then you would know who they were, so you wouldn't have to be around.
That's what we need. That's what we need.
Avoid the zombies.
Yeah, the problem with it is
that this is a silent but deadly type of thing, and the average person has no idea or no experience with like infectious disease control. So people are just like, oh yeah, it's not real. Like, there's so many fucking people who still don't think it's real. That to me is just mind blowing. And like we've been saying this whole time, and I feel like it's like a broken record. Our leadership in our country has been fucking horrible for this. Every other place in the world has been using masks constantly and being very rigorous about quarantining. And here everybody's just like, this is America. We do what the fuck we want. And that shit has to end. I mean, it's just stupid. Because even though a lot of people, like all the people that I know who are of, above average intelligence are doing the right things, the people that are doing the wrong things are fucking the rest of the people over.
There's lots of factors that are fucking everybody. There's also other things. People just have weak immune systems. There's several things. It's not just people who don't wear masks. People can get so many other ways from, and it's a weird thing. And I don't think we should be so quick to just, be dividing everybody. And I really don't think that most people don't think it's real. I think most people think it's real. There's probably a loud fraction of people who are very small but very loud and dumb. And unfortunately, that's the thing, who act like it's not real. But
yeah, well, those people elected Donald Trump as
a pretty large amount.
So.
Yeah,
like
some of
them. They think it's real, but they don't think it's as serious as it's being made out.
Right. And they're willing to take the risks that come with it. And they're willing to put other people at risk who they may be around. Like
look at Betsy DeVos. Betsy just literally said that with opening up the schools like we're planning to, that 14,000 plus children will probably die. And she's just fine with that. Like, who else in their right mind is just fine with that? Like,
Josh only wants to
let's play Russian roulette with your
damn it,
children.
Doug. You're going to get me arrested.
Yeah.
You're going to get me on. You're going to have me.
I take your point, Liberty. I'm sorry I went for the joke, but I do take your point. Yeah.
Let's play Russian roulette with people's children. And the thing about it to me is, well, I don't have any kids, so I can't really speak on it in that sense. But like, I parented a child for several years, and there's no fucking way in hell that I would send Leo to school right now if I was still operating as his mother. There's no way. Zero. There's no way. I will literally quit my job and be homeless if I had to before I would put him into that environment. Personally,
right?
He's got a tiny little nose. Like,
I think they're gonna take measures. It's not gonna be like normal school. I think they're gonna take measures.
It can't be like normal school. Normal school kids hug each other. Normal kindergarten kids kiss each other on the playground and shit. Like, the fuck? Of course it can't be normal school. Like, it just.
That's Ella's point. It's that they're not necessarily tossing them into the
normal situation,
or at least you would hope.
It's like, this thing is very unknown. Like, we don't know. Yeah. I know Josh hates the term uncertain time, but we don't know shit about this.
God damn it, Aloe.
We don't have enough statistics and stuff to really know percentages and how it works. And at some point, we kind of have to go back to some sense of normalcy, especially with shit like schools. Because so many different factors that we don't consider on a daily basis, as far as shit that operates through schools, and that businesses that are only functioning because schools are going. If they're not going, then those businesses die. And we talk about how easy our economy can collapse and shit can get fucked up. So some sense of normalcy has to happen. Bars and stuff, and obviously we're comedians, we want those to be open, but unfortunately they're not, as they say, need it. So
bars are definitely not essential. No doubt.
Yeah, they're not essential, but they're
still small businesses.
Important to me.
Yeah.
But the thing is, there's bigger ones that will be affected if schools can't open.
Yep.
There's huge things. There's shit like lunch and shit that's going to be weird if schools can't open.
I think like we could have gone to a mild form of normalcy by now. If at the time
people just done what they were supposed to do, I feel the same way, Josh.
And it also could be a lot worse if less people didn't do what they're supposed to do. A lot of people did it. There's a lot of narrative out there. And I know we see on social media and we see all the fucking dumb reposts of people who do dumb shit. But most people are trying to work on this thing, and it could be way worse than it is.
Yeah, and
I know it's fucked up, but
I'll admit I go to bars sometimes, pick up food, whatever. I keep my mask on. Try to not spread anything too much, but I mean, yeah, I do feel like, but yeah, I feel like that's a place where it should have started. Is it's like, okay, we have to open up the state, but everyone has to wear a mask. And the fact that they're only doing, I heard that Walmart did make it so you have to wear a mask, and now you don't have to, because people who go in there are being shitty and say, no, I'm not going to wear a mask, and actually harassing people who wear masks. Like, that's, yeah.
I've seen those videos. I go down rabbit holes on Facebook videos.
Yeah.
I just go down people fighting people in stores, rabbit holes, and it's the funniest shit.
I don't understand why people think a mask is a symbol of tyranny. It's just a piece of cloth that we don't know.
They think that someone telling them to do something new is
yeah.
It's just, people don't like to be told what to do, even though we wear seatbelts and shit like that. But it's a new thing, and people always push back to new shit, and it's weird. And people listen to dumb pundits who say dumb things on the internet. Yeah, it's weird, uncertain times right now, guys.
God damn it! Why?
Our town freaked out over construction of roundabouts.
Yeah,
I remember that, and I was
Aloe was talking about change and how people resist change, and there you go. It's like, okay, instead of waiting at traffic lights, you're going to go in a circle, right? They're like,
which is way more effective and cost-effective and brilliant. It's so
I can go down University faster now than I did like 5 years ago.
I'm torn on roundabouts.
And they finally fixed the road.
The people from out of town don't know. Our town freaked out over seriously.
And Lewis Black read my joke on the fucking stage of Gallagher Bluedorn because of it. So it's fine.
They always freak out about roundabouts. I'm kind of torn on them. I like them as far as when I'm in my vehicle, my personal four-wheeler, but I drive a truck. So a truck driver hates fucking roundabouts. That's probably who won't test the most. And then there's probably a fraction of people who protest.
Yeah, but the vast majority of truck drivers don't have to take those roundabouts. Yeah. There are several other options to get to the same locations without taking.
I was mainly annoyed at the time.
A real truck driver would just go over them.
I have. If there's not like trees and shit, and it's a little roundabout. If it's a little roundabout, you kind of have to. You don't have a choice. Like,
I'm talking about like the design of Cedar Falls and the layout of Cedar Falls, though, and like where most industrial-sized trucks are going. Yeah, the mall's over there, but first of all, the Cedar Falls Mall has been dead for like 50 years, and there's like very accurate back routes to it. That's not really the issue.
Oh, yeah, it's
for everyday, all day traffic, which never stops on that street, and it's perfect. Like literally, it works great.
Okay, so
sorry for you though, Aloe. You got to deal with that shit.
It's okay. I survive.
Not the roundabouts you run over though. Those.
Hey, if there's no choice, I gotta go.
So let's try to think of something light to talk about for the last 20 minutes of this podcast. How about that? Like, what's something fun that's going on with you guys? Well, first off, Liberty, Aloe, you guys, you all and Josh Francis did a sketch recently.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy. Some pretty goofy, dumb, weird shit that we did.
I'm an actor now.
He's a star. He's not an actor. He's a star.
Right. Did you see this, Doug? The thing they did?
I did not, because I'm a bad friend.
Well, they did a sketch with Josh Francis, and the premise, I guess, is that Aloe is Liberty and Josh's son, and he has Benjamin Button's disease. Although I like found logistic things to it, like why does he look younger
Don't put any logic into that nonsense. That's
like literally when I'm describing it to people, they're like, so what's the sketch about? I'm like, it's just some really dumb, weird shit, and just watch it and laugh, hopefully, But I feel like at least I have a bunch of more really dumb ideas to go off of the same thing. And Al and Josh and I are really good buddies, and we work really well together and have a lot of fun. So it's really a good distraction from a bunch of crap, and
you get to actually do comedy again, like
just a reason to get together and do something really, like I said, it's like, honestly, it's probably one of the goofiest things I've ever really been a part of, because I try and remain most of the time, as much as I can, very PC, and this is definitely a little over the top. Like, I mean, by a little over the top, it's like you're wearing like 18 hats at the same time, and it's really goofy.
Take one off every 5 minutes.
That's what I should do in the show, because then people would be like, okay, she's actually joking. This isn't like some weird fetish crazy shit they're trying to do.
If I'm gonna be honest, I could see how this could be this could turn into a fetish porn thing. Like,
if we don't get enough likes and subscriptions, we're just gonna turn it.
You're gonna go to Pornhub.
That's our second rail.
Monetize this shit.
Whatever you say.
I have never had. I'm sorry. I've never had a woman wearing a lot of hats fetish until now.
Actually, I don't believe you. I believe that's a thing you have on your browser history, is women wearing several hats at the same time.
You're wrong if you allowed screen sharing, but you don't.
Only Josh can share his screen. Look at him. He holds all the power. He's really the one wearing all the hats.
And I don't usually wear hats. I don't like them. Aloe, you were an enemy to me. Aloe's pretty much the exact opposite of me, if we're gonna be honest. He's a
Oh, no wonder why I like Aloe so much.
Fuck off. Aloe's a tall black man of robust stature with a bald head. And yeah.
That's not all Aloe is.
I mean, we can still get along, though,
No, we're enemies.
All right.
We can all co-host this podcast. It's fine. Other than that, fuck you.
Now I'm your enemy. Doug, why don't you tell us about the puppet stuff? Like, how long have you had the specific puppet that you have?
Oh, these were
usually use.
So back when I was not having issues mentally, because like I had a life and stuff, but COVID happened, I started doing these live streams where I would read poems and stories that I wrote and basically show interesting books. And then I would always do a segment with the puppets I used to play with my daughter. And then people loved the puppets and were very polite about everything else. And they just kind of took over the show. And it used to be, of all the puppets, 2 felt real to me when I was playing with Francis. And now we have 6 or 7 that have kind of come very alive when they talk, and it's exciting. And I've been starting to edit them and put them on YouTube, so people who miss the live stream can actually still see my mental decline.
I just have to say that I love it. And like the last one you did, I jumped in at the very end, but then I did go back and catch a little bit of it where you were doing stand-up comedy as the queen.
I wasn't the queen. Yeah. So one of the puppets all of a sudden told a joke, and it was really funny. And I said, you should do stand-up comedy. And she said, okay. And then, of course, the people in the comments were like, stand-up comedy. So she told a few jokes. And I said, this was great. And she goes, no, I got more. And then she just went on this huge, there were all these anti-man jokes, and they were very funny.
Wait, anti-man?
I did not feel like I made them up. What?
What's your page called so I can subscribe?
Why, thank you. It's nice when people promote other people's pages and tell them to subscribe, right? And usually they reciprocate.
Absolutely.
So it's called Doug and Monster Puppets channel.
Okay.
Doug and Monster Puppets channel.
We're going to promote this have you promote your stuff at the end.
Oh my God, it showed up on the chat.
Yes, it's on the you were very delighted by that.
Almost as if somebody had it ready for an hour.
We go through those at the end. It's a format. It's so like when people get
wow, Doug.
So when
I just wanted to slip it in and like easy conversation. I didn't want to make it seem like that's when people fast forward. Like here's the commercial portion. People skip that, so I slip it in.
You know what, Aloe? How do you know people skip it if nobody watches? Be consistent.
So I have
very antagonistic towards everybody today.
So I have 23 of these live streams, and I put up a couple. I'm editing the one that Liberty came in at the end is my favorite. The whole cast isn't in it, but it was just I was really.
You were on one.
I was just depressed, and I wound up having this conversation with the Queen puppet, this finger puppet, and it was really. I don't know how to describe it. It was a good conversation. It was very funny, but there it was. And so I'm editing it because it needs some stuff done to it. But then when I'm done, I'm going to put that up. But there are other ones on there.
Now, did you have to specifically learn puppetry, or was it something that you kind of felt out?
I played when I had the puppets and kids would come over, and then my daughter, we would just play puppets,
Right.
I think we all know puppetry, it's something we forget.
Yeah, I can see that. I think it's one of those things where, I look at behind the scenes film of, the Henson Company, and it's just like, oh fuck, they make it seem easy and difficult at the same time because of how much goes into those puppets. But yeah,
it's a whole other level.
And then so certain things just I've kind of developed. Like I've noticed that I tend to lean back when the puppet's talking, so my mouth isn't so visible. And then live streaming is great because your mouth doesn't quite line up with what you're saying anyway. There's always that lag. Yeah. So it makes the illusion better. Like live streaming is great for ventriloquists.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But then there were these other things that started happening that really fostered the illusion that I didn't consciously do. Like I always will, not always, but a lot of times I'll have my mic in the camera in the shot. Right. So if I'm doing a live stream, I'll often have the mic in the shot. And then without directly meaning it, when the puppet talks, I noticed he'll
get the damn puppet out, Doug.
It was in my hand the whole time. He'll often he'll talk into the mic, right? So, and I didn't do this in person, so I'm talking, and now the puppet talks. I'm like, why are you talking into the mic? That's just because it seems the right thing to do. And of course, the motion is why you're not looking at the mouth, because he doesn't even make an effort. Okay, so his lips are moving, man, but you're not looking. Hey. So that's kind of the way it goes. But so this microphone really fostered that. But it's not something you read in a puppetry manual.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah. And it just came about.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
And Doug, like with your background in, improvisation, it just comes naturally to you to go with the flow. And then, a little liquid courage never hurt anybody.
I don't want to say too much. It's not liquid courage. And that's.
We'll do that. By the way, if you hear a gurgling sound and smoke coming from Aloe's screen, that's nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all. Liberty has.
Why do you always have to bring attention to it, Josh?
Because he's a narc.
He is a rat. He's a little rat. Hey,
you're the one that opened. You snitched on yourself. You openly talked about doing edibles on the last episode.
I don't give a shit. Everybody knows I smoke weed. If they don't know I smoke weed, fuck them. If you don't like weed, sorry.
Aloe has a Bob Marley flag and a Jimi Hendrix poster behind them. If you don't know,
they make great music.
Aloe doesn't.
I have two instruments here too. There's a record. That's all.
Why would you even? That's like just judgmental as shit, Josh.
the smoke you see
doesn't fuck with weed at all.
It says pure hemp. That's what that is.
All right, okay.
Pure hemp. That's what that smoke is.
Oh.
Yeah. Quit judging a book by his Bob Marley flag.
CBD. Yeah, man.
It is completely accurate. You know what? I'm not going to say anymore.
Never forget that Jimi Hendrix was introduced to this country as the opening act for the Monkees.
Really?
No
Don't
shit.
judge. Yeah.
Interesting.
You would be the guy who's saying the Monkees opening act. I'm not going to listen to him. He can't be cool. And it was Jimi Hendrix.
That's crazy. We all start somewhere, though.
Yep. Well, I mean, Doug, we've talked about this before, but we both have a affection for the Monkees, especially the movie Head.
Yeah, we do.
It's a great movie, and if you haven't seen it, I think it's better than any of the Beatles movies. Come at me, nerds.
I wish you hadn't said that, because the fact that I'm not denying it makes me very uncool, but I can't deny what you just said.
Yeah.
Doug, I think you're cool, and that's all that matters, because I'm super important. So
what about me, Liberty?
My comment here.
Your opinion of me really does kind of
love you, Josh.
Thank you, Liberty. But you didn't say I was cool.
You're right, I didn't.
God damn it.
I think cool enough.
Like, here's the thing.
I thought it was gonna be another
podcast. Just got a million times better.
Put your hand in it, Doug.
I'm talking into the microphone.
I've been savaged by so many people that I care about.
Is this the part where we bring our dogs on the podcast? I can't just pick mine up though.
Yes, like the other day in my group chat with my siblings, we were like,
"Hey, buddy,"
roasting my youngest sister who's 18. All the other kids were doing it, and she was just like, "Okay, I'm changing my name and your guys' name in my phone now." And she showed us, and mine was senior citizen. So
makes sense.
My loved ones are the most savage, and okay, I'm fine with that. I get it.
If you were a Spanish,
you know I got love for you.
Citizen.
What's that, Doug?
I'm sorry, I keep talking over Liberty. Liberty, you go. You're more entertaining than I. Go.
No, I was just saying, Josh, you know I love you.
Yes.
And that's why I give you shit. If I didn't love you, I would just leave you alone and not do a podcast with you.
Well, thank you. Doug, what were you saying?
Well, now that we're not, it didn't age. It had a very short half-life. I was just going to say that if you were a Spanish man whose last name was Citizen, then everybody would be calling you Senior Citizen. And if you grew up in an English monastery, so you never actually spoke Spanish,
it's that time.
Would call you Senior Citizen, and you'd think that they thought you were old, and it would be bad.
It's when Charles Foster Kane took a trip to Tahiti. They went around calling him Senior Citizen. That was a classic movie joke.
That was dumb, and I loved it.
Josh makes jokes that are not only funny, but I'm always a little proud of myself that I get them.
Yeah,
You really have to work for it, you know?
It's either like it delights people who know the obscure reference I'm making, or I just get the blankest fucking looks from
everyone else.
And the second one is more common. Like, that's the thing, is I make the joke, and most of the people are like, what? Oh, it's this 80s movie that, and I'll go into like all the things around it, and they're just like, oh, that's it. Yeah. So that's.
And then the rest of us are like, we get it, but can we just drink more alcohol?
I'm going to do it though. We'll each take a turn. We'll each take a turn filming a short, let's say 15-second promo for Josh's comedy, so he could show it. So I'll start, and then everybody else will do it. So, and then you can just cut these, so you'll have a promo video for yourself.
All right.
I have a PhD. Most comedians hand you your laughs on a silver platter, mollycoddling the audience. Not Josh. You want to laugh, you're going to have to go and get it. You're going to have to work for it. And then it is so much more rewarding when you have a laugh that you've earned. Okay, so that's mine. Right.
Here's mine. What he said.
No, wait. Oh, do it again, but point up. I'm right above you.
Oh, shit, yeah. What he said. I second that.
Here's mine. Josh Pfizer is an extremely talented comedian. He works with up-and-coming stars Liberty Bell and Alameen all the time, and they back him.
And here's mine. Butts. There we go.
He likes big butts. Oh, never mind. That was part of mine, too. Josh likes big butts, big bitches, pizza.
I mean, that's pizza.
And fancy beers.
Who doesn't?
He probably won't buy you one, but he might.
Oh.
Go see his comedy.
Yes, thank you.
I'm going to do another one specifically for when you perform at the Octopus. Okay, here it goes.
He doesn't do stand-up anymore, Doug.
Well, he won't ever after this, but now he'll.
Oh my God.
So, welcome to the Octopus. You know, once in a generation, the Octopus puts on our stage a brilliant, new, funny, refreshing comic. But enough about Alex. First, we are going to see.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that. I know that joke structure.
Yeah,
I know. I do that joke structure all the time.
It was new when I was young.
Oh, man. So the pterodactyls taught you that. Okay. Okay.
Wow.
I just want to have an animated pterodactyl fly in and then say, go see Josh Pfizer comedy.
I think
Why can't you hear a pterodactyl going to the bathroom?
What?
The P is silent.
that was a dinosaur
Dad
and
joke.
a grammar joke.
Dinosaur dad joke.
Yep. I feel like that's all a good point to wrap up the show. This was a great time, Doug. You were fantastic. It's always great to talk to you. Do you want to give us a few places where people can see your stuff? Or yeah.
On YouTube, I am REVDJ, which is like my regular YouTube page, but the stuff with Monster Puppet, you're going to find Doug and Monster Puppet's channel is the name of the channel.
Okay.
The URL is kind of long, so I don't know. Maybe you could put it in the.
And you can enroll in UNI and go have Doug be your instructor in real life.
Go to uni.edu, pay a lot of tuition to sit and watch Zoom meetings.
Math to math.
So basically, do what you've been doing all summer, but pay a lot, and you won't get laid. You can't do oral with a mask. But yeah, and then there's a chance if you're really good at math or really
I'm signing up right now.
Class.
They really got to work on those numbers, though, right? Because I mean, you're not getting that college experience.
Dude, if you're gonna go to college, come here. Don't make
Might
me
as well.
beg you.
You
knew I'd get on the channel at some point. Don't act all shocked. He's all, oh my God, what's Monster Puppet doing on here?
Next time we just want Monster Puppet, all right?
Yeah, no, without me.
That'd be fucking insane. Yeah.
12 fat old. Oh look, he has a puppet. I get more than he does.
And they can find your book.
Social Nonsense. Yeah, you forgot the book. It's Social Nonsense. It's on Amazon, or you can go to socialnonsense.org and get a free sample. Until we have cured COVID, I have made some chapters available for free, and that's on socialnonsense.org.
Great. We'll put the links in the description, and guys, we'll put Liberty and Aloe will put a description to the sketch you were in and Josh Francis's YouTube channel. Anything you guys also want to promote? You got any shows coming up?
No.
Nope.
I just want to say thanks again to Doug. I'm so happy you're here, and I love you, and I'm glad I could be a part of your re-emergence into stand-up comedy, and I can't wait to share stage with you again. And
I can't wait till we share a real
blessing.
thing.
You're a blessing. Thank you.
All right, and
let's hug until it gets weird when we next can.
Yeah, let's hug. Let's hug a lot.
Yeah,
just a lot of hugging.
Yeah.
Bring the puppet though, because I'm into that.
They all are. Once you go felt, you never go back.
That It needs
It's
to
so
rhyme.
soft.
Work on the rhyming of that. Once you go felt, you never go.
Once you go felt, you get rid of the belt.
I don't know what that's supposed to
You
be.
used to like kink, but now you just like puppets.
That still doesn't. It needs to rhyme. Anyway, thank you all
First half did. Fuck
in
off.
the fancy.
I like aloe best so far.
We all do.
That's fair. Thank you all for joining us in the Fancy Werewolf Lounge. I'm Josh.
Bye, guys. Liberty Bell.
Halloween.
And Doug, thank you for coming.
You're welcome. This is great.
You all don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Good night, everybody.